An update to a story we first brought you on City News 2 weeks ago. Hundreds of would-be home buyers are now considering legal action after their condo project was abruptly canceled a year and a half after they put down tens of thousands of dollars in deposits. Tonight, a lawyer says they may have grounds for a lawsuit, and the incident is raising questions about what more the government can do to protect home buyers from scenarios like this in the future.
Extremely frustrating, because now we have to go back into a market, like I said before, that it's uncertain, right?
I was planning to get married. I worked so hard. I have my life savings on this.
It's not just about the money. It's about what you've taken. You've robbed us of our dreams.
One after the other, would-be homebuyers lined up to get into a closed-door meeting in Woodbridge, trying to figure out their legal options after their plans to own a dream condo in downtown Vaughan came crashing down.
Was totally shocked. I couldn't believe it, because I was calling always Iconas to make sure, and they're telling me that the permits were set, everything was in order, everything was, groovy.
More than 1,600 Icona condo units sold out almost immediately back in early 2017. Homebuyers putting down tens of thousands of dollars to secure a spot in the two-tower development on Highway 7, set to be ready in 2021, right next to the new TTC subway. But 2 weeks ago, buyers received letters saying the project was axed. Investors will get their money back, but for these frustrated buyers, it's little comfort.
That money could have been put towards a property that would have actually came to light, right? And now we have to go back, and the market's obviously risen, and it's difficult in Toronto to find a unit anyway.
Mortgage rates are not the same as what they were 19 months ago. We'll all have to get our credit rechecked, reapply to the banks. It's not the same as easy as it was back then. We'll have to start over.
City News reached out to Icona Condos and the Gupta Group tonight for a response to the news about possible legal action. They sent us the same statement they did 2 weeks ago, reading in part, "We're extremely saddened and disappointed to have to cancel our Icona condominium project in Vaughan because of circumstances beyond our control that make the project unfinanceable." But the lawyer speaking to the crowd of investors tonight tells City News there's more to the story, and he believes there's a strong case for a lawsuit.
Icona promoted this project. It knew that there was a restrictive covenant on the land which prohibited them from building condominiums. There was a Superior Court proceeding this year brought by one of the Icona companies to try and set aside the restrictive covenant. And the company next door that put the covenant on the property in the first place defended the case, and they won. And the judge said the restrictive covenant stays. And that's coincidentally when the letter went out canceling the project.
Ted Charney is also representing another group of homebuyers in Vaughan, suing a different group, Liberty Development, over the canceled Cosmos condominium. 451 buyers are seeking damages for lost investment money, arguing their contracts were terminated using a condition that isn't approved by Tarion, the oversight body for new home developments. Charney says he wants to see the government create stricter rules about when developers can cancel projects without penalty.
If they had 60 or 90 days, that at least people wouldn't be tied up for 2 years before they find out the project's being canceled for lack of satisfactory financing.
We reached out to the Minister of Government and Consumer Services, Todd Smith, and a spokesperson tells us Minister Smith met with officials from Tarion over the last couple of weeks to discuss this issue and has also instructed ministry officials to develop policy options that will help strengthen consumer protections when purchasing a condo. We hope to have more to say on this in the coming weeks.
Ultimately, I would be satisfied with the capital gains that we lost on, right? The value of the property today is definitely not what it was when we purchased it. So I would appreciate if that kind of money was to be seen again, right? Because it's their fault.
That buyer at the meeting told us tonight that his down payment was about $70,000. He expects he'll have to double that in order to make a new home purchase. As for that space, it's currently occupied by a small hotel. It's unclear what Gupta Group plans to do next, and whether they'll be selling that land now that the condo project has been canceled remains unclear.